How did mankind come into existence? Is it the result of purposeful creation, or did it occur by chance? What exactly defines a human? The physical body? The mind? Consciousness? Is there something beyond these? Let's explore science, the Bible, the Vedas, and ancient Egyptian wisdom to seek similarities and differences, and perhaps uncover answers to these profound questions. Before we dive in, please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might enjoy it. Your support really helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate it. In ancient Egypt, they believed that a human being was not just a body, but consisted of many components, which separated at the moment of death. To understand the significance of these components, it is important to first grasp the role of death in their beliefs. Death, according to Egyptian mythology, was not always present. It entered the world after the murder of Osiris, a fundamental myth central to Egyptian religion and key to understanding life, death, and the afterlife. The Egyptians viewed the body as a vessel, while the soul lived on for millions of years. Initially, existence was eternal, without time or death. Osiris, the god of fertility and agriculture, reigned over this peaceful world. His betrayal and murder by his jealous brother Seth introduced time and death. Seth dismembered Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered them across Egypt. Isis, Osiris's devoted wife and sister, along with Nephthys, his other wife and sister, and Anubis, his son, recovered and reassembled the body. With the Eye of Horus, also Osiris's son, Isis used her magic to restore all but one piece of him. Though Osiris could not return to the land of the living, he became the ruler of the afterlife, overseeing the judgment and fate of souls. His resurrection promised eternal life and provided a model for personal salvation. The myth of Osiris shaped Egyptian funerary practices, emphasizing the need for proper rituals to achieve a favorable judgment in the afterlife. This is why the process of mummification and its associated rituals were developed. In 4000 BC, intentional mummification in tombs did not yet exist. The dead were buried in simple graves, in a fetal or sleeping position, covered with soil. But as the Osiris myth took root, the sophisticated process of mummification emerged around 2600 BC, mirroring the journey of Osiris in conquering death and reaching eternity. Upon death, the human being was believed to split into 9 distinct components. The Khat was the physical body in its earthly form, a material vessel that lived, breathed, and experienced life. After death, it decayed, marking the end of its earthly role. Egyptians valued the afterlife more than material existence, believing that the soul would live on for millions of years. Hence, the Khat's role was relatively minor. The mummification process aimed to transform the Khatchu into the Sahu, a spiritualized body fit for the afterlife. The Sahu was the sacral body that emerged through mummification and proper burial rituals. It represented the refined, eternal version of the Khat. Mummification was a complex process that evolved over time. Organs were removed, and the body was dried using natron, a natural mined mixture of soda and salt. Essential oils were then applied to prevent decomposition and to evoke the divine sense associated with the gods. In many myths, deities revealed themselves through fragrances like myrrh and incense, which were believed to symbolize their presence. This practice of using aromatic substances in mummification parallels the state of saints' relics, which are naturally preserved and emit a pleasant scent rather than decomposing. This suggests a connection between incense and the divine. According to the Bible, after original sin, humans became mortal, subject to decay, and vulnerable to passions. By conquering one of these consequences, they in some way conquered the others as well. This is why their bodies, after death, are believed to resist decay, and they enter eternal life with God. However, mummification appeared much earlier in history, which suggests the two processes are not directly connected. Instead, both reflect an understanding of the divine or sacred nature of the body, linking them through a shared view of the sanctity of human remains. Thus, the Sahu, as a perfected, immortal body, allowed the soul to interact with divine beings and participate in the eternal realm, ensuring that the deceased could enjoy eternal life among the gods. The Ib, or heart, was the center of emotion, thought, will, and morality. It was seen as the essence of a person's character and conscience, the repository of memory and life path. Because of its significance, the Ib was weighed against the feather of truth Ma'at during the judgment of the dead, A balanced heart indicated a life lived in harmony with Ma'at, allowing the soul to enter eternal life in Duat. Conversely, an unbalanced heart led to the destruction of the soul. The beast Amut would devour the heart as a sign of failed judgment. Heart was considered as the root of creation. The supreme God was having ideas of things and entities in his heart first, before manifesting them with true names. This is incredibly close to the Vedas, where the Supreme Lord manifestation starts with non-material ideas in his heart. Even today, there are linguistic expressions that preserve lost knowledge, showing that the heart is more than just an organ for pumping blood, but seen as the spiritual center of a person. Phrases such as, have a change of heart to heart, lose heart, or take heart of gold, broken heart, or follow the heart, they all reflect the residual memory in the heart's spiritual significance. Shut, the shadow, was an integral part of a person, representing their presence and essence. It was believed to be a protective aspect of the soul, always present and inseparable from the individual. The Shurite carried part of the person's essence and was thought to provide protection in the afterlife. Its continued existence was linked to the overall immortality of the soul. The Shut had no Ra, no light of the sun. It was considered offensive to step on someone's shadow. Ancient Egyptians believed that the shadow could be disconnected from the body by magic, reflecting a kind of doubling of personality. This concept resonates with the psychological notion of the shadow in modern psychology, addressing a dark side of the person with hidden or suppressed desires and motives, not seeing the light of the day. Alter ego, if you will. Many psychologists, starting from Carl Gustav Jung, emphasize the importance of acknowledging and integrating the shadow aspect of personality to prevent it from becoming destructive, believing it held the key to accessing one's hidden strength. The Ren was the person's name, holding significant power and representing their identity. As long as a person's Ren was remembered and spoken, they would continue to exist. Preserving the Ren was crucial for maintaining one's immortality. Names were inscribed on tombs, monuments, and objects to ensure the deceased's continued existence in the afterlife. The importance of the name and its strong connection with a person's existence cannot be overstated. The deletion of a name was considered the worst curse, could lead to the obliteration of that person's soul, while remembering it, and, importantly, speaking out the name after one's death guaranteed eternal life to the name owner. The personality lived as long as their name was spoken. It was even more intense with pharaohs. The erasure of a pharaoh's name was the greatest disgrace and dishonor. Pharaohs received up to 5 titular names during their coronation, with each name providing guidance on what they were to embody. These names were selected to highlight specific roles or characteristics, emphasizing the direct connection between the name and the personality behind it. There was a belief that a name influenced a person's behavior by adding desired aspects. Names were associated with a person's fate and life path, which is why all names in ancient Egypt were meaningful words. For example, Ramesses II is Ra-Meses, which means Ra has fashioned him. He also carried the epithet Meri Amun, meaning beloved of Amun. His throne name was User-Mat Re Setepen Re, which means the justice of Ra is powerful, chosen by Ra. Not only pharaohs, but ordinary people also had several names. One secret, known only to the individual and their mother, and another public. They believed that a name, being strongly connected with personality, could be a portal for harmful magic. This belief parallels the importance of names during the creation process when Supreme God named things and entities to manifest them. Similarly, in the Vedas, only the Supreme Lord knows the true names of things. The significance of names persists in modern language, such as when we refer to acting in the name of something, restoring an honest name, or losing a good name, or live up to the name. Changing one's name is often seen as starting a new life or a new chapter, indicating a shift from the past. This ritualistic aspect can be seen in the coronations of kings and queens, or initiation of priests, where a new name signifies a new role and important abilities, an ending of the previous life. In the Bible, Genesis chapter 2 verse 19 illustrates that God brought animals to Adam to name them, thereby granting Adam managerial power over these creatures and establishing a hierarchical relationship. Knowing the true name of an entity or creature signifies having power over it. Thus, the importance of names is not merely a linguistic identifier, but a significant influence on personality. a concept shared across many cultures and religions. The Ka is the vital essence, or life force, representing the energy that sustains a person throughout their life. It is considered a spiritual double that continues to exist after death, residing in the tomb. After death, this doubling part of the human required nourishment through offerings left at the tomb, allowing it to sustain its vitality in the afterlife, ensuring the connection with the soul in the afterlife world. It is generally understood that Ka was energy inherited from the family. However, accurately speaking, only men inherited it from their fathers, as this represented male energy, while women inherited Hemust from their mothers, representing female energy. This is why only men could become pharaohs, as they were believed to inherit the royal energy from their royal male ancestors, which is why any woman who became pharaoh had to justify her royal right, often presenting themselves as man-pharaoh. Ka was depicted in every image, statue, and temple, connecting these depictions to the deceased person and allowing these images to hear prayers and transmit them to the soul in the duat. Destroying a picture or statue was considered a curse. Additionally, the Ka was used in purposeful magic. For instance, after 30th birthday, a pharaoh could undergo a ritual to renew their life force. During this ritual, the statue of the pharaoh was buried, taking with it all illnesses, curses, negative emotions, leaving the king refreshed and renewed. Many royal dynasties, up until very recent times, only allowed males to inherit the throne, echoing ancient traditions. The Ba is the aspect of the soul that embodies a person's individuality, personality, and the ability to move between the physical and spiritual worlds. It is often depicted as a bird with a human head, and sometimes human arms. The Ba was believed to fly out of the tomb for after-death judgment, and later to the Duat. In the afterlife, the Ba could travel freely, visiting places it loved during life, but it returned to the tomb each night. The Ba needed to be reunited with the Ka to form the Akh, a fully realized spirit capable of eternal life among the gods. And again, in modern language we still have expressions reminding soul significance. Every living soul, soulmate, to give heart and soul, soul destroying, put out the soul, and many others. In ancient Egypt, there was no one unified soul. Instead, they believed in several different souls or aspects of the soul, one of which was the personalized Ba. This is closest to the concept of the soul in Christianity and the Vedas. The Ba was thought to live for millions of years. Exactly, a personalized soul is what connects all religions and ancient wisdom, and that remains undiscovered by science. Little spoiler, it will remain so no matter what level science achieves, as the soul, being a part of the Supreme Lord, inherits God's unknowability. The Akh is the transformed, eternal spirit that emerges after death, when the Ka and Ba are successfully united. It represents the fully realized, glorified soul capable of living eternally in the afterlife. Achieving the status of Akh was the goal of the afterlife journey. The Akh had the power to influence both the living and the dead, and was considered a state of existence where the soul was in harmony with the divine order. In the ancient Egyptian language, Akh also means star, and the night sky is referred to as Akh. Egyptians believed that stars were the souls of deceased ancestors, and that their gods ascended to the stars in certain constellations. The name of the Orion constellation was Sa, the same as the sacral body. Thus, there are mixed meanings and correlations between the gods' souls and their destinations after death. Akh spirit can be somewhat related to the spirit in Christianity. The Sikkim was the person's power, or spiritual might, representing their ability to assert themselves and their presence in both the physical world and the afterlife. Sikkim was crucial for maintaining the soul's influence and effectiveness in both realms. It was essential for ensuring that the spirit remained potent and effective. Sikkim is analogous to prana, the vital force in the Vedas, or Zi in ancient Chinese wisdom. It can also be compared to libido in contemporary psychology, as suggested by Freud, but not in a sense of a sexual physiological impulse, but as vital energy of all the instincts forcing humans to live, in opposite to mortido, the death-destructive driver. Additionally, it might connect with the free will granted to humans by God, as described in the Bible. There is no single unified creation myth across all of ancient Egyptian mythology. But a few central beliefs and stories give insight into how the ancient Egyptians viewed the origin of humanity. One of the most prominent creation myths is the where the god Atum, sometimes Ra-Atum, creates the world. At the beginning of time, Atum arose from the primordial waters of chaos, Nun, and created himself. When he wept, his tears fell to the earth, and from those tears, human beings were formed. This portrays humans inheriting divine origin. Another well-known creation story involves Khnum, the god of pottery and creation. He shaped humans on his potter's wheel out of clay from the Nile River. He would mold both the physical body and the soul, Keha, of the person. This imagery emphasizes the connection between humans and nature. In all cases, ancient Egyptians believed that humanity was created by the gods to serve them and to maintain truth and order, Mayat, through their actions. Thus, there was a sophisticated conception of humans touching many aspects of life and highlighting the bigger importance of spiritual over physical, which is common across ancient wisdom. Watch my other videos about mankind in Bible, Vedas, and science to explore amazing connections and incredible complexity of humans. I hope you enjoyed this video and discovered some new and captivating ideas today. I am deeply grateful to everyone who supports me. If you haven't yet and would like to, please support me using the link below or by using the Super Thanks button on YouTube. Thank you for every like, comment, and subscription. See you in my next video.